All right, kind of getting in here and getting to work on these hydraulics. If you remember, I spoke about how I broke this skid steer a while back. Last year, I was using it to cut some of the fence line for my cross fencing. It was in the evening. Everything was going perfectly well until this hydraulic line that runs the cutter here plugs into here, and this had a big crack on it about right here. I didn't realize it because it was turned down to the bottom. I just didn't see it. I was cutting, this popped out of here and fell under my track, and my track rolled on it and pulled it, put a bunch of holes in it. I had fluid leaking out of here really bad. So when I got that end of the hose fixed, I got a new one of these, put it together. After I had fixed all this and I tried it out again, there was a several month gap. The whole hose was leaking all over the place except for the part that I fixed. So apparently when it pulled the hose, it somehow, I guess, separated or did something, and there was a lot of little small holes in there. So it was just leaking like a sieve all over the place. So I had to replace the whole hose. When I was cutting my front fence line, it just wasn't working very good. I don't know what was wrong with it. It was gutless. During that time, I also, of course, ran the hydraulic fluid a little bit low because a lot leaked out when I broke the hose. I refilled it with some fluid. It wasn't the cat specific fluid. I try to get something as equivalent as I can, but it wasn't exactly it. So I have mixed fluids in there. I think it's one of three things. Either that hose, the inner diameter is too small, which is delivering less fluid to the machine. The guy said it's the same. I didn't know enough to check the inner diameter of it, but I'm learning. The other thing it could be is the fluid. Maybe something with the fluid and it plugged up the filter, or it's plugging up the filter, something like that. I don't know exactly how the hydraulic systems run. I read some places where this has two pumps on it, one pump that runs the drive and one pump that runs auxiliary hydraulics. I don't know on this specific machine. The one I was reading on was a little earlier model, so I don't know if that's the case here, but either way, I do have one hydraulic filter. I drive fine. The drive is completely fine from what I know. Maybe it's not under the same load as the diamond cutter is when it's hitting a big tree. I'm not sure. The other thing I think it could be is I did skimp out and go with a cheaper connector here, one of the flat face connectors. I went with one I found on eBay that was a match, and it fits and it works. I don't know if I could say fine, but it works. My suspicion was maybe the inner diameter workings of it is less than the cat specific one. So I'm gonna start trying to figure this mess out by, first of all, changing that connector. I have this one here. This is the cat one, made in Italy, inside of there. And I don't know if you're able to see inside of that at all. Maybe a little right there. But it has basically, it's a big spring that when this is opened, it opens up a component in here and lets fluid travel around the edges on the inside of this. One of my suspicions is the off-brand valve that I bought, the inner workings has a smaller fluid path, hence reducing the fluid flow to the machine itself. We're gonna find out. I already have it semi taken apart. I just took off 2 bolts here and 2 bolts here. Got that front cover, which is right there. Got that off. It's this little sucker right here. I checked the inner diameter of this one right here. Now it doesn't tell me what flows around this. That's just going to tell me the opening itself. It has little grooves on it inside there. So I checked from inner groove to inner groove, 16 millimeters. So I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to check it and we'll see what we come up with. I wish I had some carburetor cleaner or something with me to clean up these caps here. They got some sludge in them. I like to keep all these clean. Said I tried compressing this to relieve the pressure. You see, it goes in, so the pressure should be relieved. When I was doing it last time, I found the best way is just to put something in here across that so that you hold this whole apparatus up. All right, good. Make that mess everywhere. So this one is a little different on the inside. All right, let's see with my cheap gauge here. 14.6. So already it is smaller than the other one. This is the original one from Cat, and this is the non-original one. There are definitely some differences with it. The biggest one is that opening right there. So I'm really hoping that that's it. So let's check this again, okay? Let me go where there's not the grooves, okay? 14.5. Now, this valve works, so I'm not throwing it away. I'm gonna save it. I never know if I'm gonna need it in a pinch. All right, so that one's 14.5. This one, not on the grooves, 15.2. That's a big difference. That is a big difference. So let's get this sucker in there and make sure it works. Let me just set this sucker in here. I'm really hopeful it's gonna work now, because that's a big difference for fluid flow. It took me 6 hours, I think 6 or 8 hours to cut that front fence line. That's 1,000 feet. That's horrible for time. I have another big area to cut for the olives, as I mentioned, and I don't want it to take that long. So I'm hoping this is the problem. It is 65 degrees, not even 11 o'clock in the morning. At the end of January. I love me some Florida. Okay. This is where I want that degreaser to spray this. I don't have any with me. So let's get this sucker back together right quick. There it goes. That's it. Woo! You always got to make sure this slips forward. You pull it back. This is the collar on it, and sometimes the cap thing sits in there and there's just not enough room, so this collar won't slide all the way back in order to allow this to go in. Man, never think I'd get that winded pushing a hose in. See, this one has these little things in there to sit. You can see it better on this one. You have to twist it so it can go there and then open, because it won't open if it's not lined up with that. Okay, let's get this thing going. Got to turn that on and then make sure the dogs aren't around. Give it a little half throttle. I will be able to tell, I think, from just the sound, because it used to sound like a jet engine starting up. After I had to repair it, I didn't hear that anymore. So here we go, let's try it. Oh baby, that sounds like it. Oh yeah. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, I like that. Let's see what we can do. Oh, it feels way different already. I don't know. I'm not convinced just yet. It is spinning up a lot faster. There's definitely a big difference. Let's get over here and try it out. See if it'll bog down. All right. It's definitely spinning up a lot faster. Yeah, it would take a long time to spin up the last time. I'd have to stop and wait for it to spin up, and then I could take off again. Here's my quick gestalt on it. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. It's not 100%. It's by far better. So the only other two things I think it could be is the hose diameter might be a little bit smaller than the original. and the next problem could be the fluid filter. I'll probably change the fluid filter before I changed the hose out. This is a lot better. What I can do is on the larger trees, just chop them down and then go get the tractor with the wood chipper and just chip all that wood, all those trees that are up. So that might be how I do it. Anyway, that's gonna be it for now, and we'll have to get back with y'all on the next one. Hope to see you there. Thanks a lot. Bye.